to give John Schneider a lot of credit, and the last episode we did, Jackson Bevins did trash
He did.
John Schneider. Give him credit where credit is due. Jackson knows his stuff, and I will give him all the credit in the world for that. He knows his stuff. His criticism, fair to a degree, of John Schneider. The last couple of years, since Pete Carroll left, Schneider has assumed full control of this organization, and he has done the opposite of what he did for 14 years around here. It was always like, oh, they're going to trade back. They're going to trade back. They're going to trade back. They're going to make this stupid trade.
That's what I'm saying. And they're going to pick somebody you've never heard of before. And so
LJ
now,
Collier, they're going to take a Jordan Brooks. They whiff on D. Eskridge when Creed Humphrey was right there. We can go down a rabbit hole for that reason.
Yeah. After getting off to such a great start when they were picking Richard Sherman in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like
that's 11 years ago now.
We have learned, especially over the last couple of years or so, that maybe Pete was doing more of the draft.
So.
I think so too. I mean, it's as much as we don't want to say, particularly like, not we, because, I've trashed Pete for a long time around here. And I've been very vocal about that, ladies and gentlemen, over the course of the 7 years of doing this stinking show. But it seems like Schneider is rewriting the ship of how the organization wants to do things.
Right.
Which is great. It's great.
I agree with that. And I guess I don't guess. It's easier to do that when you have a rookie head coach. And you're the GM. And then, you take in what he has to say, of course, and you say, okay, this is what we're going to do. That's a whole lot different than talking to a guy who's got 12, 14 years in the NFL.
And he's been around the league for dang near 30 years.
He has been, no question.
Which is good.
Which is really good, and I was very pleased when they brought him in.
Yes.
But I'm saying, as the GM, you take in this, what he has to say, and then you make your decision because you're the GM.
Correct. And we took a lot of everything he did when Pete was here with a grain of salt. We did.
Right.
And a lot of the trades that were made, Jimmy Graham, Percy Harvin, Jamal Adams, you're starting to see it a lot more that they were more Pete acquisitions. And particularly in the draft picks, too. D. Eskridge, Trade Brown, LJ Collier.
You can go on and on with
Rashad Penny. Yeah. I mean, we could go. Jordan Brooks. I mean, we can keep going.
You can keep going, but there's no better example of all this than Percy Harvin.
Absolutely.
He made one big play in the Super Bowl, which I appreciated. I loved watching that. I'll give him credit for that. But that is the only thing that he ever did as a Seahawk.
Which is shocking, but it's true. But, I mean, there's some people, the Pete loyalists, will disagree with us, and they will find a way to disagree with us because we will clip
that's
this.
Fine. And, you can make your comment.
Yeah.
If you disagree with anything that's been said here today, please let us know. Please let us know. With the exception of movies, I think we hit that out of the park. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's no criticism coming there. But besides that, if you have anything you want to say, please do so.
I mean, this offseason as a whole, I mean, it's not just John, it's also Coach McDonald, too. I mean, he's backpedaled on a lot of the decisions that he has made. A lot of them. And all three of us here, we're super critical of the Geno Smith trade. Super critical.
We couldn't have been more critical of that.
Correct. And then as we have as the weeks have gone by and the
right,
months
and
have
then
gone by,
yeah,
it's sort of like, okay, we now see what they want to do.
right, and so that's why we're not in charge of anything.
Thank
And so
God.
yeah, right. And because they made the move with Geno, then made the trade with DK, and you're like, well, who in the world's going to throw the football now?
And
And
then
who, if
we
he did,
saw the
who's going to
moves
catch it?
come in. And then we
Right?
saw the moves
Then
come in.
Tyler Lockett, stepped down, which we all knew that was coming.
By the way, he signed with Tennessee.
He did. I saw that, so I wished him all the best when
Good
he's
for him.
playing over there. Good for him. But when you're almost 40, Father Time is undefeated and all that.
Nashville's a good city. I'll give him that. But
right.
But back to the Schneider, it's wild because we've seen a lot of these moves that Schneider has made in the last 2 or 3 years, and they've gone like, oh, these are the complete opposite of what Pete would do. The opposite. Pete would double down and he'll go get, a Ziggy Ansah who's way past his prime.
Right.
Or, a Sheldon Richardson trade, which was, at the time was not bad, but, looking back on it, it was bad. Trading Frank Clark. There's another one, which is you shouldn't have made that trade, but whatever. The drafting of LJ Collier and so forth. And it's like, and Schneider's like, I am going to fix this problem. And he's done that.
He has done that. So, the runway is open for the Seahawks. And so they're in a division. It's going to be tough. We know that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but
it's not, so tough as some other divisions that we can talk about. But
correct.
And so, if they would at least, go, 1-1 against the 49ers, that'd be appreciated. Right?
Yeah. And, we could probably agree here that the toughest test in their division is the Rams.
Absolutely. That's been the case. That's been the case as good as the 49ers have been. And they've been, they've been to the Super Bowl, so they've been really good.
Twice, yes.
Yes. And so, but the bar isn't far behind, if it's at all behind when it comes to the Rams. And then the Cardinals have not been an easy out either when it comes to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are making the playoffs and they go play Arizona and then and they lose.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot less chance this year of any of that going on.